Oh, I'm the Macho Man, Randy Savage, yeah. And this is what happened in September, oh yeah.
Thanks, Macho. I missed all of you, I'm not gonna lie. I kinda am looking forward to making this video. This is what I did in September. I want to start right away with my gear, Mythic Plus, dungeons and all that, because my warrior started the month at an item level of 700. I ended up getting up to 712. I replaced most of my gear with heroic and got my 4-piece, and I've got a few mythic pieces as well for my vault from doing 10s, and then I still have, I think, 3 champ pieces plus the vault belt from last season, which I really need to find a replacement for urgently, because I think in a couple of weeks that gets super nerfed. But slowly just gearing out my character, definitely slower than last season, but I am still hoping to get best in slot gear by the end of this season, and I don't know what item level that'll put me at, but I'd imagine I'll probably end around 720 or so. But with Mythic Plus, I was able to get 435 more rating over the past month, and I'm ending the month of September at 2,375 Mythic Plus rating. So I've done 4 10s and then kind of spread out the other ones. I would like to finish by October the rest of the 10s, and that should push me over 2,500, I think close to 26 based off the math here. And that's pretty much where I'll end it. I am trying to do at least 1 dungeon a week, but what I've been noticing over the last month actually is that I'm kind of just logging on to do chores. Like I'm logging on to do world quests every day, and then I log off, and I'm not really doing a whole lot more in the game. And with that, I'm finding that I am enjoying it. It is kind of nice to just do all that, get all that gold and stuff, but at the same time, it is repetitive. It is not that interesting, and then I don't really feel like doing other things, because it's like, I've been playing WoW for like an hour and a half, and I want to go do something else, but that hour and a half was just spent doing dailies. So just this week, actually, I've been thinking about that, and I've been wanting to be more purposeful in my playtime. So instead of spending all of my time doing all that, I can definitely do that stuff, but also go do other things like actually go focus on achievements or do more dungeons, because I am enjoying it. I want to do more Mythic Plus. I just feel like I don't have time, or when I do have time, it's like I just want to do something else now. There's more to WoW than farming one specific thing, so that's where I'm going to be focusing my time. But in September, as I was gearing up, I stayed playing the Mountain Thane hero talent tree, and slowly but surely I started to notice that my DPS was getting lower and lower and lower, so I got a little bit frustrated. I went to Archon once again. Mountain Thane was still the top. And then I went to Warcraft logs, which is a little bit more recent because Archon is the last 2 weeks, and Warcraft logs had almost everyone playing Slayer. And I thought, oh wow, geez, okay, well I guess I gotta change that. So I changed over to Slayer and I went into dungeons, and my DPS was worse. I was doing close to, if not under tank damage. This was on AoE. I could not figure out what was going on. I was so frustrated because I would go, I'd look at logs, and I'd be like, okay, I'm doing exactly what they're doing. What am I doing wrong? But I kept looking, went into the Discord and stuff, and finally I realized what I was doing wrong, and it's that I didn't have my 4-piece. So I was just spamming Raging Blow and not hitting Bloodthirst at all, which if I had my 4-piece would be fine, but because I didn't, I wasn't doing my rotation right. And as a result, one of the tier piece bonus things wasn't proccing, and I wasn't doing as much damage as I should. And I thought, oh my god, I'm so glad I figured it out, but I'm so sorry to all the groups I made suffer that. So a week after I figured that out, I got my 4-piece and actually my 5th tier piece as well, and suddenly my DPS was much better. One of the dungeons I did last week was a 10 Dawnbreaker, and it was the first time where throughout the entirety of the dungeon, I was competing with everybody for first place. And it felt good that I wasn't a hard carry, I was contributing to the group, and that I was performing in a way that made me feel like not a bad player. And as frustrating as that can be, I do love that aspect of WoW, is kind of figuring out what you're doing wrong and changing it and then seeing the numbers go up. So I'm excited about that, excited about gearing my warrior and getting better at him. But outside of that, what I was doing on my warrior was of course just raid with the guild. In September they cleared heroic Mandaforge, and I was in there on a few of the Dimensius kills. It wasn't until a few weeks ago where I finally was able to stay alive on heroic Dimensius, which felt pretty good to me. We also did Glory of the Raider earlier this tier than normal, and that was a very fun achievement for the most part, pretty easy too. The first achievement kind of sucks because you have to walk over rats that blend in with the floor before the wall kills them. That one took us about 45 minutes, but if you could have targeted them, that would have made it easier, but I guess whatever. Fractalus is probably the other hard one. That took a few attempts as well because you need to get 4 rows with 4 walls and break the 4th wall like 18 times, I think. It requires some coordination, and the instance achievement tracker add-on is actually very helpful because it tells you how many walls are in each row. So that was, once we got everyone on that, it was much easier. The rest of the achievement was pretty easy, nothing much to talk about outside of Soul Hunters, because that was not only one of my favorite glory achievements, but one of my favorite achievements ever. It was one of the most fun things I've done in the game in a while, because what you have to do for that is everyone in the raid has to equip a blindfold, and your screen goes black for 1 minute, and all you see is the shape of the bosses. I personally wish you had to do the entire fight that way, because that would have been so much more fun, but even that 60 seconds was just chaotic, funny, and silly. I really love that achievement, and as soon as I started reading the Wowhead comments on how to do that, I was excited to go there, and it lived up to my expectations. Related to WoW, but not actually WoW, I've been cleaning up a lot of my personal pictures, and one of the things I found was my WoW screenshots going back to 2015, and I finally cleaned up probably over 2,000 pictures and organized them better. And it was a nice trip down memory lane because there are people that I totally forgot existed, and I used to take screenshots of just me doing stuff in the game just to have a memory of it, or like I'd open up the guild window and take a screenshot while we're in raid just to see who is in the guild. And it's crazy seeing people 10 years ago that are still playing the game now, still in the guild here with me, or seeing those people, like I said earlier, just like, oh yeah, what happened to that guy? But yeah, now I've got those folders nice and cleaned, backed up and everything, so I can always take a trip down there whenever I want. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is the fact that I've been trying out Linux on my other channel, which is at Vigil Gaming, which I will put an annotation for at the top of the screen as well as in the description box. I have a couple videos out so far talking about why I want to de-Google and de-Microsoft my life, and then the second video is talking about me looking for a distro to pick. Right now I've been using Mint for a couple of weeks and just testing out, seeing how all of my software works, but one of the first games I installed was WoW, trying to get that running, and I used the Steam method. The thing that made me laugh out loud was when I was in Windows 11 on that laptop, I was just hard capped at 60 FPS on every game, including WoW, and I just could not figure it out. All the settings, NVIDIA settings, game settings, I could not figure it out. And then I go to Mint and suddenly I have 130 FPS. Like, oh, okay, thanks, Windows. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty simple install. I haven't had too many issues. CurseForge is available on Linux natively, so I was able to get all of my add-ons. I was able to copy all of my settings from my Windows computer to Linux, so all my add-ons came as they are on my desktop. Had no issues with that whatsoever. I do want to try out the other way of installing WoW. I think it's Lutris or Lutrix. Just because one of the things I'm having an issue with periodically in WoW is that the game will just kind of freeze for a sec. The other thing is that Battle.net and Steam kind of fight for something. I don't know what, but regularly Steam will freeze or Battle.net will freeze. So if I Alt-Tab, I can't click on anything on my computer. And then the last thing that's kind of annoying is that every single time I launch the game, the taskbar is always on top. So what I have to do is change from full screen windowed to windowed mode, then cancel the pop-up that says, do you want to keep your settings? And then the taskbar goes away. So I'll just try out the other one, see how that goes, see if there's any improvements. But overall, WoW on Linux is totally doable, and I'm wanting to switch permanently to Linux within the next few months, but I don't know if that'll happen. But at the very least, before the end of the year, I would like to make Linux my primary driver. So I'll definitely talk more about that in the future as it relates to WoW specifically on this channel. But if you want to see more and get more details on that journey for myself, you can again do so at Vigil Gaming, my other gaming channel. And then lastly, we've got Legion Remix coming up in October. I'm still kind of neutral on it. I was very, very excited about Mop Remix, and with Legion, I'm kind of on the fence. I keep seeing Reddit posts where things are being buffed and then nerfed. People are happy about it and then they're mad about it. So I don't know what to expect. I'm trying not to be a pessimist about it and just go in with an open mind, and hopefully it surprises me. I've been saying from the start that Legion Remix is something that I'm nervous about, specifically because of the artifact power grind. In actual Legion, that was just exhaustingly frustrating, and I'm very curious to see how they do that with Remix. So we'll see. I'll definitely be streaming it every Wednesday at around 12 o'clock Pacific on Twitch and here on YouTube. Those links are again in the description box if you want to check that out. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on Legion Remix, what you're looking forward to, what you're maybe nervous about, because I'm very curious what people think about it before it's come out. Moving into the achievements for the last month, I was able to get 230 more points, so I'm ending the month at 47,710. A few feats of strength to start. I was able to get ahead of the curve. I got my Keystone Master, which is the 2k rating in Mythic Plus. And then because I looted 2,000 Conquest on my Hunter, I got the Astral Weapons of Conquest achievement, which unlocks this season's Gladiator weapons for him. For actual achievements, I finished off all the quest achievements in Koresh, so I'm once again 100% done all the War Within quest achievements. I'm kind of curious when they'll announce the meta achievement for this expansion, because Season 1 had like a mini meta, and then that's the last we heard of anything, so hopefully that comes out soon. I also finished all the Koresh exploration achievements, and all I have left is like 74 more Chet Handons. So I'm probably not going to get that until midnight, because I do not want to do Undermine on more than one character. For mounts this month, I got the Cinder-Plumed Highland Griffin for 650 trading tendies. For ahead of the curve, I got the Royal Voidwing, which is amazing. For the 2000 Mythic Plus rating, I got the Azure Void Flyer, which I love as well. All these 2000 rating mounts this expansion were awesome. For Glory of the Omega Raider, I got the Umbral Karak. I like the wings, but I hate how uncentered this mount is when you're not flying it. Like, what the hell is this? This is not the only mount that does this. I don't know what is going on with these mounts this expansion, but just Blizzard, please center them. I carried my guild through Mythic Gallywix, and I just felt bad for them, so I gave them 100,000 gold, and I got the keys to the Big G from him. This saves me a farm next expansion and afterwards, so that's nice. For getting Renown 19 with Koresh, I got Terror of the Wastes. I got Terror of the Night from doing the Vigilante achievement, which is to do all of the warrants in Koresh. And then lastly, I got the Resplendent Karak, which is from the Restoring Life to the Oasis thing. You get that quest after you do the Ecological Stability achievement. But that's it for me. That's all that happened to me in the month of September. I'm looking forward to talking to all of you again at the end of October during spooky season, Halloween. Let me know how the month of September went for you. What did you do? What did you accomplish? What are you working towards? What are your thoughts on Legion Remix? Are you excited about it? Are you not looking forward to it? I'm very, very curious what people think about that. But as always, if it's not that, let me know anything else you want to talk about in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. If you missed the last weekly installment of this video where I talked about how I'm doing these monthly now, you can check the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. I love you lots. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic October. I'll talk to you then. Bye.